Hi, I'm Mark,
And I'm Jerry.
and we're Escaping the Empty Nest. So we were given an idea for a video by our good friend Brian, who suggested we make a series of videos on what it would be like for the traveler who has a long layover at DFW, figuring out what they could do without much Ubering or renting a car. And it ends up being, a little tricky. DFW doesn't have very good baggage storage. They have no baggage storage at all. So all of this will be predicated on just having very light carry-on luggage or having bags that are already checked. You don't have to tote around very much.
One thing that's really important to do when you are planning on going to somewhere for a layover, long layover, is make sure that you download the TexRail train arrival and departure times. That's one thing. We were all excited. We came here, we bought our ticket, thinking, okay, the train's right here, we're going to go.
Yeah, get on the train, it's right there.
Guess what? The train doesn't leave till 12:40, and it leaves once every hour in the afternoon. So we will post a picture probably somewhere in the video here that kind of will show you a little bit of what the train schedule is like. But as you get closer to the evening times, it will come more often. You'll be able to catch it every 30 minutes instead of every hour. So right now, our plan is to go and to get off one of the stops, maybe have some lunch, since we'll have to wait an hour for the next one. That'll give us lunch time. And our first stop will be in the lovely city of Grapevine, Texas, which we are looking forward to exploring a little bit when we get there.
And when you're at DFW Airport and you have to go to Terminal B to catch the TexRail train.
The one to Fort Worth.
Right. And now if you have to collect your baggage, then what you have to do is you have to go to the Terminal Link. The Terminal Link is a orange shuttle van which will take you to all the different terminals. Now there's different shuttle terminal links to go to different terminals. The first one we saw said C and E. The next one was, I think, B and D. So they tend to stick. We left from Terminal A, so they tend to stick to their side because B and D are on the west side of the airport, and C and E are on the east side. So we were picked up from Terminal A. So it's a nice free service, and I think we sat there for about 5 minutes waiting on the Terminal Link van.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all.
So when you get to Terminal B, you have to go downstairs and look for the train signs, and there's a little path you have to go down, and buying the tickets is a pretty easy procedure.
So as we walked into the area, there's two boxes there where you buy your tickets. So you buy your tickets before you get to the train track. They listed several different options of what you could do. If you were like someone who lived here in the area, you use this constantly, you could get a weekly pass. We did the local day pass, which was $5 a piece, which is 24 hours, so we can travel on this train as many times as we want to, hop on, hop off.
And it also covers the city buses too.
And it covers the city buses too. So if we were to get off, for example, over near the stockyards, it's a little over a mile from the station to the stockyards, but we can hop a bus with our pass to get over there closer to the stockyards. So pretty reasonable for travel for a day.
If you're coming in from the airport and you just need to get to downtown Fort Worth, or maybe a stop closer to where you live, I think you can take a single trip for $250 or something. So it's not bad. It's a pretty easy procedure. We bought one ticket, and then it said, okay, purchase complete. And then we realized there was a button there that you select if you want more than one ticket on the same purchase. So if you're buying multiple tickets, it might be easier just to say multiple tickets. But it was a pretty painless process so far. If you are leaving directly from a plane and you don't have you don't have to pick up a bag from baggage check-in, you can take the what's it called, Skylink train that's post security. So and it's a little bit easier. They come more frequently than the shuttles, than the terminal links. So you can take those to any terminal you want. If you are going to Dallas, you have to take the Dallas Light Rail, the DART rail, and it leaves from Terminal A. So for those of you who aren't familiar with DFW, all the terminals are connected through either the Terminal Link vans or the Skylink, kind of a monorail type thing, I think. So pretty easy to get from terminal to terminal over here. This is a pretty nice commuter train. There's fairly nice bathroom. There's USB plugs that you can plug your phone in while you're waiting. Plenty of baggage storage up top. Some of the seats all face the same direction. Then you have some seats like we're sitting in right now, where the two seats face two seats, so you can talk with your group. So it's a pretty clean new train. I don't even know how old this line is, but this is actually really nice. The only problem would be we weren't expecting it to be leaving once an hour, so we're sitting here with a lot of time to kill. If you have a 4-hour layover and you sit here waiting an hour to get on the train, and you have to be back an hour and a half before your flight
to
go through security, it's like, yeah, okay, all of a sudden that doesn't sound too promising. So it really depends.
But if you have one of those weird things, like one of April's friends once had a 7-hour layover here at DFW, that would be something that would be worth investigating with your time, the off that you have.
And again, the only problem would be, what do you do with your bags? You drag your bags around with you everywhere you go. If you travel light, you don't mind carrying a suitcase around behind you, sure, it's an option. But if you travel fairly heavy and you can't carry a bag with you, and I think most airlines don't let you check a bag till 4 hours before your flight, that can really cut into what we're trying to show you here. So it's definitely difficult. Since 9/11/2001, they've stopped letting airports have checked bags in the airport for security reasons, and it's a little inconvenient. And Dallas and Fort Worth don't seem to have many options near any of the train stations. Hello again. We learned a lot about Grapevine while we were there. Great old historic city. Turns out they do have luggage lockers. Luggage lockers are $2, and they're in a secured area behind a counter. And the problem is, if you're leaving DFW Airport and you want to just drop your bags off real quick and then proceed on to another location, the trains only come once an hour in the afternoon, early afternoon, but it's not rush hour times. When it's rush hour times, they'll come every half an hour. So if you've got time in your schedule that you can drop off your bags at Grapevine, which is one of the first stops after you leave DFW Airport, and then do something, get a bite to eat. They've got a great upscale food court there, lots to see here.
Yeah, lots of food.
You could spend hours just in Grapevine, and we'll post some information and talk about that later in this video too. But if you're just hoping to drop off your bag and then jump right back on the train, no.
You have to wait for the next train. So
yeah, the
minimum. But it is a good deal. It is a very good deal. You can keep your bags there till 7 p.m. She said.
$2 is great for baggage storage.
Everything you can stuff in a locker.
Yeah.
It's fairly good sized lockers. Some were bigger. Others like had a lock and stuff on the outside. But yeah, it was a really neat find. And if you decide you want to discover more about Grapevine while you're there, they do have a bunch of different options that we'll talk about later on in the info about Grapevine.
We really enjoyed seeing the old historic railroad. Apparently the historic railroad, the one that you'll see on video right now, it goes directly into the stockyards. Drops you off inside the stockyards, but it only runs once a day. And it stays there 90 minutes, and then it comes back. Yeah, so it's like a stockyards destination train only. This one will go near the stockyards, and it's several times a day, but you still wind up a little over a mile away unless you're willing to take the bus from the train station, the TexRail station, into the stockyards or by the stockyards. Or if you don't feel like walking a little over a mile, it's about a mile each way to go to the stockyards. It's hard to beat the stockyards for a
true Texas experience.
Yeah, the Texas experience. If you want to really feel like you're in Texas, as we tell our friends, Texas is America turned up to 11, but Fort Worth is Texas turned up to 11. That being said, Grapevine had one of the best Texas-themed stores I think I've ever seen.
Yes.
With some knickknacks and some souvenirs and some Texas memorabilia that I've never seen anything quite like that before.
Whenever we want to redecorate our house, we have to go back there, add some more Texas feel to our.
That's right. It was pretty amazing. And we got some gelato. at Napoli. What was it, Napoli Cafe? Napoli.
Something like that. We'll
Yeah,
have to look it up
yeah.
there.
It was Napoli Cafe. They have
Really good.
They have a restaurant, and then they have an Italian market that serves gelato and other desserts next to it. It was really good. And
Yeah, it's Italian ice there as well.
Yeah.
So,
and we finally got to go to Chocolate Moonshine. Chocolate Moonshine's a little shop that they have all kinds of. Let's see, you can see these. I took some shots earlier so I can blend those in.
He already ate his.
Yeah. Yeah. Different flavors of chocolate with filling, and they do have chocolate laced with bourbon. We didn't get any of that. We got the non-alcoholic kind, but it's a really neat shop. Our good friend Brian that we mentioned earlier has brought us presents twice from that place, and he knows we have Texas theme at our house, so getting the Texas shaped chocolates, and they're delicious. It's just not the novelty of how they shape. They really are delicious.
Very good.
Now, we had a great time in Grapevine, and we're going to check out Fort Worth, and we'll save that for another video because this Grapevine was so interesting. It's going to take up the whole video. So stay tuned for our next series in Fort Worth, and this is the Fort Worth Water Gardens, downtown Fort Worth. And later, if y'all enjoy this and want to see more, we'll try to make it to the stockyards. And we haven't even investigated the city of Dallas yet.
Yes.
There's a train that goes, the Dallas Light Rail goes into downtown Dallas, and there's plenty to see there. So let's just say that Grapevine was quite an experience. We planned on staying an hour. We ended up staying 2.5 hours. Could have spent 5 hours if we'd really investigated everything. So check it out sometime, and especially if you're at DFW Airport and you want something close.
Yes.
It's a perfect destination just to get away to, and the baggage storage makes it so nice.
Yeah,
So,
just 2 stops away from the airport and 2 stops back, so it's a great getaway from the airport.
so just remember, never stop having adventures with your spouse, and don't wait until you're too old. Travel when you can. Don't wait for retirement age because you never know what's around the corner. So we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.